Hey everyone, some big news came out of GM General Motors that I wanted to share with you today. So that's what I'll cover in this video, the big news and what it could mean for GM stock investors. So let's get right into it. The big news being the second quarter vehicle delivery sold update for GM. And impressively, GM sold 691,978 vehicles in the second quarter. 15,652 of them were EVs. Now, comparably, Rivian sold less EVs than GM did in the second quarter. So, just a point of reference there for you all who are saying that GM is the old generation and it's not going to transition into the new generation of the industry sales. 19% increase in sales. Retail was up by 15% and fleet sales were up by 34%. Now, these are remarkable figures for a company like GM. It's a legacy automaker. It's already reached massive scale. It's not typically going to grow at these rates, but the peculiar factors rising from the pandemic, the supply shortages, have allowed GM to absolutely thrive. And so this is what it's experiencing, and it looks like these conditions will persist at least for the rest of this year. Not only is GM selling more cars, but the average price increased by $1,482 quarter over quarter. This is another trend that's working in GM's favor. The supply shortages have allowed GM to make and sell more of the higher priced models than usual, right? Typically, a car manufacturer will have several models, right? The fully loaded model, the basic model. But when you have supply shortages and you can only make a relatively fewer amount of cars, well, GM has chosen to make those cars with the higher profit margins, and they've been able to sell them because consumers have said, all right, we'll pay for that because there isn't very much else available. So if we need a car, we got to pay the higher price. And that's been the case industry-wide, right? So GM's competitors are doing the same thing. So consumers looking at the situation are forced to just say, you know what, if we need a car, we got to just go with what's available. We're willing to pay that higher price because that's all we can do. And that's boosted GM's profits. It's boosted its sales, and this has been great news for GM stock investors. Still, I've been recommending GM stock all year, and it's not prohibitively expensive. If I were to look at just over the last 5 days, GM stock has not budged all that much. It's relatively flat, down 0.3% for the week. And if I go year to date, GM stock is down 9% off its highs, but it's recovering nicely since the bottom of May, where it was down around 30%. So the stock is coming back up, moving higher as figures are coming out, as it continues to deliver strong sales, strong profits, and the fears that the rising interest rates, right? The Federal Reserve has increased interest rates substantially in the last year, and there was fears that would cause a recession, that would cause folks to buy fewer cars because with higher interest rates, your monthly payments would be higher, so your demand for cars would decrease. All of those fears have yet to show up. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying they haven't shown up just yet. Consumers have just continued to spend and pay up and buy the cars that they want, which has surprised me. It's surprised investors as well. So, good news for GM stock investors. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.